Hey guys, Coach Dan here. I'm going to show you a little bit about dirty boxing. Now, where does dirty boxing belong? Obviously, it doesn't belong in boxing, but you can utilize the idea of dirty boxing and put it into your MMA game. Okay, so dirty boxing usually starts on the inside, not the outside. So once you've gotten to the inside and you've got a bit of a clinch, especially around the head, what you're going to do is you're going to use that clinch, you're going to hold them and press, and it's going to allow you then to fire your uppercuts in or any shot you really want. But what I like to do is I like to get in, and I also like to push my head. So I like to get my head in, and I like to keep my head pushed in because it also can move the guy's head away. I can turn him, literally with my forehead, I can turn his head away. Now again, in boxing, you're not allowed to do that. You see it every once in a while, and obviously that's where certain head clashes happen and everything else. Hence the reason dirty boxing. But when I grab the base of the skull, it makes it so that he can't move his head away, he can't slip it, he has to push me, and he has to fight, very similar to how the Thai guys do it or MMA guys. So you're using a lot of different combinations here with punches and everything else. Obviously, if it's self-defense, I mean, you can stick your finger in his eye. For now, we're not going to think that way. We're thinking more along the line of a sporting application still with MMA or even the Thais, but they've got their own purposes. They've got their long guards to stretch guys out. They've got ways of breaking the clinch and all that kind of stuff. Same even again in MMA. In this case, we're just going to show you a little bit about the striking applications. So once I'm on the inside, if I got both my hands on the inside, they have to try to tie me up and they have to try to come around me. When they're doing that, it allows me to have my little elbow flips up. When it flips up like this gives me a little bit of leverage. When I snap it back down, boom, I just come right back off and I can come in. I'm holding the head. So because I'm holding the head, there's not as much of a shock that say to drive the head up. You don't need that because you're already holding it tight. It's just a short little and the head doesn't move. So when I'm here, I just roll their arm up a little bit and then it allows me to release just for a split second and drive that hand in and then drive it right back out so that I'm holding their arm back again. The other applications, of course, is if it's not a hand strike, well, you're going to bring this up, bang, you're going to slap that in really easily and get it again, hold that base, bang, doesn't have to be hard. It's going to hurt, and it's going to hurt a lot because it's just a simple elbow and it drives it in really rapidly. Now, if I want a little bit of an elongation, I can press this guy up and then I reverse it. I come off, bring this guy out front and bring it across and then drive it back into that guard, boom, come right back in. So now I got a combo. So I'm setting the guy up, I lift up high with this one if I just want this, boom, into an uppercut position, or I lift it up high again, I slap it off this way, or now I start to put them together. I can lift it up here, then I can come up, then I can pull this guy all the way through, press him back, and then slam back in. All these combos put the guy into a position where he can do the same thing back to you, he just has to get his hands in the right spot. So remember that when you're doing this. So that's why I like to just work around 3. Don't work like 6 or 7 different combos. So those 3 combos right there are pretty simple. I flare, always flare, get pressure. Make him have to hold those arms in place. And when he starts to push down on that arm, that's when you release. You release, fire that shot right up. Don't waste any time, all the way up towards the head. You're holding this, so the impact is going to go straight in. It's not going to go anywhere. So it's going to go right into his face. Okay? When you're going to do any of the other ones, it's the same idea. You're going to press, and as the pressure comes down, release and snap it through. But return right back to trap the arm, get back into it. Bob don't have arms. We can notice that. But I come back to Bob's shoulder and I'm still here. I'm ready to flare. When I'm doing the opposite one, I still want to flare on this side. Why? Because I want to keep it busy. I want him to think, say I can get a couple of those. He doesn't like it. I flare again. This allows me then to pull this hand back. Slide that one in nice and hard. Then push back because you don't want him to slough it off and be on an angle. So I bring it across, and before he even gets a chance, I start to straighten it out. Right away, I come right in with the opposite elbow. Okay? So there's an awesome way to set up a few combos on here. Keep good control over Bob. Hold his head. Nobody likes the back of their head being held, and then you keep your elbow in, press, and keep a nice tension on it. Okay? Follow us.